Hey guys, this is Crazy Sean DX, and welcome to another rendition of Praise Appraisal, where I determine if something is worth the praise or not worth the praise. Today we're going to be looking at Metroid Zero Mission, a remake of the original Metroid. Does it improve over the original's glaring problems? I'm not gonna lie, I feel like Metroid has had a relatively rough history as of late. What with the last new main entry being Other M and then having a spin-off of a spin-off that was announced and released with poor timing. Though now we got a fourth entry of the main spin-off coming, and we had gotten a fan game that was shut down because Nintendo doesn't like non-profit love letters to their stuff. How are you getting away with this crap, Miyamoto? Because they themselves made a remake of Metroid 2. But we're getting ahead of ourselves. We're going to be looking at the first remake we got way back in 2004. And hey, it got re-released on the Wii U, so it must be good, right? Well, we're here to find out. So, let's just dust off my Wii U. It's kind of been a while, I'm not gonna lie. This is Metroid Zero Mission. Oh, and spoilers if you care. As soon as you boot up the game, you're told all you really need to know about the story. Samus has to stop the space pirates from breeding deadly creatures known as Metroids and to stop the head honcho of it all, Mother Brain. Right to the point, and it works well given that this is a remake of an NES game. As for how the game plays, I already got some praise for it. It actually helps in telling you where to go next. Yeah, there are a few other ways to know where to go, especially when you get new power-ups, some of which result in you revisiting some places, but in terms of finding those power-ups, there are these things called Chozo statues that steer you in the right path, and I love it. I can't tell you how many times I couldn't figure out where to go in the original Metroid due to not having anything like a map, which I'd at least hoped they included with each copy back when it was first released in 1986, kind of like how it was with Legend of Zelda, if I'm not mistaken. I feel like I remember having a map like that, I don't know. The gameplay itself feels like it's slightly improved from Metroid Fusion while not steering too far from it, with stuff like wall kicking the same as before, as well as the ability to grab ledges, which you get as a power-up for some reason, and this game has also made a lot of other improvements over the original, such as the aforementioned gameplay tweaking with wall jumps, new power-ups not in the original such as Speed Booster, where you can do something called a Shine Spark, and the Charge Beam, which, by the way, I think you can miss, but I'm not 100% sure, because I've always restarted my save whenever I failed to beat that damn centipede monster, to even tiny little tidbits, like when you launch yourself out of some kind of ball booster that, depending on where they are, will cause these crab-like creatures to fall and panic a little bit with their eyes bugging out a bit. That is some damn good attention to detail right there. Oh, and there's some occasional cutscenes, such as Kraid, the tiny-ass boy from the original, who is immediately revealed as being so much bigger than you. Oh my god, that is a big-ass lizard demon! Of course, there are some returning power-ups, such as the Ice Beam that lets you freeze enemies to use as platforms, missiles that are for opening red doors but are finite in numbers, and of course the Screw Attack, arguably one of the best power-ups of all time, to the point that there was a big website that was named that. Until they had to change focus due to the algorithm of YouTube being that trashy. I still miss their top 10s. Speaking of the doors, certain ones are initially locked and require a specific weapon or criteria meant to open, such as the aforementioned red doors opened by missiles, green doors by super missiles, yellow doors by power bombs that are only obtained near the very end of the game, and no, that name probably bears no relation to the pro wrestling move, to the white doors that will only open if you do a specific thing, usually the action of defeating all enemies in the room. Well, save for some cases in the endgame anyway. There's also a bit of a backstory explored for Samus, albeit very briefly and not very often. The most you really get is in the endgame moments, but again, I'll get to that in a bit. Okay, so this is the right path, yes? Well, nothing to see here, I'm out. Oh, and there are a few bits that teach you stuff, such as these tiny bugs that when the enough latch on you, they literally suck the life out of you, but you use that to your advantage to progress at certain points when you notice they can take out certain blockades that you yourself can't, and after getting the Varia suit with much needed extra defense, you let them latch on you while they can't hurt you to use on the blockade to open up new paths. It's not a complicated thing to understand at all, but it still makes you connect the dots on how to progress, and that's just one example of how the game helps teach you what to do at certain points.
There are also a few new mini-bosses they put in to liven up the game a bit, from these larva things to this tentacle worm that, I swear, I don't think I've ever seen enough hentai, and yet I know where this is going probably, to an angry fly demon, to a larva cocoon of some kind, hanging by some threads, and coupled with the only winged turtle thing in the entire game, and very unsettling music. Man, they just can't resist making these games somewhat disturbing, huh?
Oh, and it wouldn't be a Metroid game without Ridley appearing in some form, right? Explosion! You know, is it ever explained how any of these villains actually show up in future games despite being blown up to smithereens? Or is it just like a Kenny from South Park fiasco and we just accept it and move on? Of course, you eventually encounter the Metroids, and it's revealed how far the space pirates are willing to go, sacrificing themselves to help feed the Metroids so they can be strong enough to aid in their attempts at space biological terrorism. Or at least that's what I'm interpreting it as. Fair warning. Ice beam, then 5 missiles. You'll thank me later, maybe. Interestingly, the game doesn't just end when defeating Mother Brain and leaving through your ship, as for whatever reason, your suit disappears and you're left in your Zero Suit, as it's been called, and then your ship is shot down and a new segment begins where you have to infiltrate the space pirate mothership, do all you can to survive with a pistol that only temporarily freezes enemies, and make it into the Chozo ruins, your lost home. It's then shown that Samus was raised by a now extinct bird people race called Chozodians, and they basically showed her a wall painting that will soon help her on her destiny. But only after fighting it, because nothing's ever easy. And then Samus gets her iconic power suit that she's best known for, and a few newer power-ups in tow. Now, earlier in the game, you were able to encounter damaged Chozo statues that hold special items that are apparently too advanced for your original suit. Also, what is with ancient civilizations having such advanced technology? Did we just, as a species, get forced to start over at times, or what? Now, with the fully powered suit of armor, Samus can use the new power-ups. Oh, speaking of, Space Jump here is miles better than the Space Jump in any other entry I've played. And I haven't played that many, but you get the gist. You even managed to finally get the powerbomb tank that'll allow you to fight the true final boss, Robo Ridley. Apparently he's uploaded his consciousness to the robot to... Oh, he's already dead? Cool. Why did I struggle with this? In fact, throughout the game, I might be rusty, actually. And it wouldn't be a Metroid game without a countdown to escape. Just like the one that happened earlier. Samus manages to escape, mission accomplished. Also, I just want to point out that this space pirate actually tries to stop the ship from leaving and gets killed immediately. That's kind of funny. Credits roll. Samus did a special drawing as a kid, and I actually managed to beat it in under 2 hours. Speaking of, meeting certain criteria when beating the game, such as item completion being at 100%, nets you special imagery and you can view it as your reward. And you can even link a game to Metroid Fusion to transfer over imagery that you unlock there, kind of like a precursor to, say, file transfers. Except it doesn't seem like that can be done on the Wii U, so... yeah. But hey, you can unlock the original Metroid to play, even though it too is on the Wii U Virtual Console. Oh, I did. How shocking. Wait. This version has an actual save feature. Holy shit, that makes it so much better. Yeah, hell yeah, I'll save. I'll come back to this later. And I gotta be honest, I feel like that's all I can really say about Metroid Zero Mission. For some reason, it feels like I didn't say much. So, how much praise do I think this game is worth? Honestly, I love the 2D Metroid games, and while Fusion still holds an interesting place in my heart, Zero Mission is a damn good remake that fixes a lot of problems the original had. It controls amazingly, the visuals and the cutscenes still hold up dead ass, and even if you can beat it in under 2 hours, it's still an amazing way to kill time. And you'll probably want to come back for more, even. Now, as I mentioned before, Metroid 2 also got a remake, but we'll get to that at another time. For now, I'm going to play Doom on my Switch. You know, it's really weird that they decided to make the sequel like this. I don't understand why they went from FPS to life simulation with the cute, cuddly creatures.